Hello, it's Lynn with Soft Squares. There's two videos going on today. It is Saturday, December 17th, 2022. It's time for the Saturday stitch-uation. This is a weekly recap of what's happened with me in general, with my business, with my life, with the projects I'm working on. Sometimes they're a little longer than others, but in general I try to keep these nice and short. And just a quick summary. This is also a place where you will learn about any winners if I have any contests. So if there's anything like that going on, be sure to stick around and watch for that. And I actually have a contest to do today, so we'll get to that in just a minute. I'm going to work on some bindings. Special delivery from FedEx. I placed an order online for some fabric I needed to hunt down. And it's here. Can you guess who this is? It's Paw Patrol. I have a special request. So I'm gonna put this guy together. Look how cute it's gonna be. I think this will be the back. I think that's cute. And then this one, I'm gonna cut up and alternate it with some solid primary colors, or I'll do like I did with the other small ones, because it's for a cousin of those girls, and do all the solid blocks in the middle and make a nice border. I think I just talked myself into that. A border print, and then this will be on the back. Let's see how that goes. Now, this is not a Christmas present. So these are just something that everybody gets, and I don't want to give it to them as a Christmas present, because then they're getting gypped out of a Christmas present. You know what I mean? It's like getting engaged on your birthday or a holiday. Come on, guys. Anyway, I'm excited to have this fabric, and let's see if I can show it to you all in one little piece. There we go. Paw Patrol. He's a pretty big deal right now. This is for a 3-year-old little boy. I think we're gonna do okay. Paw Patrol, you are going to be so fun. Okay, what else have we got? I just picked up this quilt. I'm about to go bind it, but does it look familiar? And so I keep talking about this video. I'm almost there, but I'm excited. Got another advent box. We're gonna open it soon. All right, so I'm working on a couple small projects. Not necessarily small, but I am working on a strip quilt. So I have all these really soft, just off of white with a tiny print strips of sets of 2, and still deciding what pattern I'm going to use. I found one that inspired me. Oh, now where did it go? It was this one. Now here they're using charm squares, but with these I'm going to make 4 patches. So I'm thinking, I don't know. Actually, I just like the idea of the sashing between the 4 patches, so that's like the closest to inspiration on this one. Still looking through my patterns, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I just know that these were the fabrics that were picked. for this from the person whose mother who's getting it. So starting that one. And as you may have heard, my dog passed away, and she had her little fleece blanket, which isn't that cute? It's just double-sided fleece, and then I did a stitch around the edge, but that silly little girl would go to the fleece and pick at it. It's like the edge of it, and even though it won't fray, I had to finish it off with something. So I put this ribbon on it, and it's really ugly. This is, I've had this since I got her. So anyway, this is the blanket she's had the longest out of all the blankets that I have. So I'm gonna make a memory bear for myself out of this, and I'm also gonna make memory bears for another reason, but this will be a good way to practice on my own project, because I have lots of little blankets, but this is the one that makes me think of her. It just came out of the washer, so it is ready to be played with. So this will be hopefully a project coming up in the near future. In case you're wondering about the quilt that's behind me, I made this last year. These are strips, so it's basically the rail fence. And there's 6 different sets of blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it starts over. No, that's not true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do have 8 different ones. I made it last year. So I made sets of 3 and then cut them up, and then I laid them out this way, and because it's all so light and neutral, you don't see the print as much, but I felt like having some cohesiveness with the print would be good. Because there isn't that much going on, then I wouldn't have big blank spaces, so you can see where my blocks are. But I want to show you this. This is, not only is it minky, it is like polar minky, or whatever they want to call it. It's like ultra thick. So when it got quilted, look at that, the pile. It is awesome. So I had enough of this fabric to make 2 of these. I only made 1. So I think I'm done with Christmas projects for this year, but this will probably get a companion because it's so fun. I don't know if I have any more of this, but the cool thing, I don't know if you can see this, but it has blue undertone in there. But boy, oh, this is like a big, like jumping in a snow pile. That's what this makes me think of because of the color. So that's the quilt we're featuring today. I'm gonna try putting up a couple different Christmas ones that I have, so that you can see some of the different ones that I still have that are Christmassy. Let's see what came from Amazon, because lately it's been quilting stuff. Ooh, I forgot I did this. Do you see all those colors? The ribbons. Looks like there's 20 different colors. It's called Vatten. Festivals, wedding, decor, gifts, flower, events, and DIY. Anyway, there's their label. You know, I didn't really have any, like, just ribbon. I had, like, some funny spools of random and rick-rack and stuff like that. So this, there we go. This was just like a kind of a sampler pack. Oh, look at the colors. Look, can you see those 4? And yep, there's the next 4, and the next 4. I'm calling them 4s, sorry, there's 4 rows of 5, and then here's the last one. Pretty. And I think it's 2 yards. I don't remember my order, and I don't think it says on here. Vatin, V-A-T-I-N. Doesn't say enough. So they're individually wrapped, and then they have this band around them, so they are self-contained, so I don't have to put them back in here. Yay! There's a store in Salt Lake called Orson Gigi, and it is basically mostly like a cooking store, like a chef store. They even have cooking classes, but they have all kinds of anything related to baking, ingredients and dishes and decor. And then they have a little section of holiday stuff, and I'm all about Santa or snowman. So here's my snowman for this year. His little eyes are kind of covered, but he's cute. It's got this solid bottom. And because my husband and I were so sick and we're still dealing with it, and we're this far into the month, I'm not going to dig out the Christmas tree. So the Christmas decorations that you happen to have seen are all that there's going to be. And the reason I have this Mr. Snowball, which is adorable, is because when I moved in April, somehow he didn't end up where he belonged, and he's just been kind of moving around. So he's been hanging out with me all the time, but he's not necessarily Christmas, he's just winter. But the point is I've got him, and then the singing Christmas tree, which I'm not even sure where it is right now, but my husband has warned me he doesn't want it on anymore. I played it once for him. Anyway, it's the one I played in the video a few days back. So that's my holiday decor, but this is something I picked up for myself, and Christmas stuff was 40% off, and he's cute. Got this beanbag bottom. All right, so there's some random things. So here's the name and the address of the store. I think they're online too, but Gigi, G-Y-G-I. And look at this, this is called a brownie spatula. It's just little, and it's the right size for a brownie. Has their name on it. It was only a couple dollars. This is my random find. And that's all I came out of that store with. I'm all about patterns, and I went on to Etsy and found some really cool patterns that were downloadable. And let me see if I can get this. This one's called Entangled by Swan Sheridan. Isn't that pretty? The size of this is 60 by 60 for a throw, or 80 by 80 for a queen. So, and then another one I picked up is also by the same designer. This is called Deploy Ladders. Now, isn't that different? I think they're using batiks on this. I like it. Very different than anything I have seen so far. And then this one looks kind of simple, might be fun to help use up some layer cakes, and it's called Scrapbooking. This one's by Sweet Tea. This one is 64 by 64 square. This one is 54 by 66. And Swan Sheridan is from Tucson, Arizona. The shop I got it from, I'll put the name that I got it from. And the same with this one. This is Scrapbooking by Sweet Tea. It's by Jennifer McClannon. And sweetteapattern.com. It doesn't say where she's located. Anyway, I think I did all the sizes on those. All right. Oh, I got these off of Cotton Cut's website. That's right, because I just got my Cotton Cuts thread, and you always get a free pattern. So when I was picking out my free pattern, because they have only certain ones you can pick from, I was also browsing around, and I got these from Cotton Cuts. That's how I got them. I just got a bunch of mail. I want to look at it with you. First of all, this is a package from Sherry McConnell. I just ordered a bunch of patterns from her Etsy store. And even though these came with options of PDF files, there was one pattern that I wanted that wasn't available that way. And honestly, I like to have the handwritten or the normal pattern, so I just ordered them all that way. So let's recap and see what I have. So I got Hope Valley. This is 65.5 square. Here is a okay, and then I got two of these. I got two of these. I need to see if that was a mistake or I actually ordered two of them. And we've got Desert Sky. And there's a full picture of that one. And then Pinwheel Posies. How cute. Can't seem to get rid of the glare. And Delight. There that is. Also had gotten Timeless. These takes fat quarter and fat eighth. This is from 2020, which might be why this might be the pattern that I couldn't get as a PDF. It really doesn't matter. Oh, I did order two of the Hope Valley quilt patterns. Okay. That means we're gonna do a giveaway for that. Why not? Okay, so does that help? Isn't that pretty? It's got such a cool look to it. Okay, so this quilt pattern right here, I'm gonna do a drawing today. We're gonna give it away. We'll come back to how that's gonna work. So let's just double check what else we have going on today. Yeah, it was a $9 pattern and I had 20% off. I think it was 20. Anyway, a slight discount, but that's not a cheap pattern. I'm going to give it away. All right, and then I have this pink from Cotton Cuts. I'm going to guess it's my thread. Is, and now we've got the red. Get out of the bag. Okay, there we are. I'll take those out. Here's our block of the month. I got two of those too. Well, I'm going to give that one away too. Why not? So got two Cotton Cuts, and then you get a free pattern. As always, I'm going to cover up their secret code. But you get to pick between one of these two free patterns, and if you want both of them, you just pay for the other one, and then you have access to the library of the other ones, and you can always purchase them at any time. But you do get a free pattern with your subscription. And our pencil this month says Ready, Set, Sew. And here's our threads. And they're all still stuck together, but you always get a variegated and you always get a white. And then we have, this isn't working. It's just not working. Three sets of reds. 3 sets. 4 different colors of solid, a variegated and a white. And I'm going to see if I can hold this better. Sometimes hand-eye coordination not happening. There we go. I got the washi tape still on the back. So that's the Cotton Cut subscription for their Chrome for this month. Let's see what else we have. This is what I'm doing on Monday. That was Piper. She insisted on being held, which is interesting because she's not a clingy or needy dog, but things have changed and I think she's lonely and she really wanted to be held and was in the middle of something I really wanted done. So you got to see her in a rare moment where she's around fabric because I never have her up near her. Anyway, that explains why you saw a dog. I just ordered some patterns off of Etsy, and these came from a store called So Fresh Quilts. And I see the name on one of a few of the patterns, but it's Lorna McMahon. But isn't that pretty? It's on point. And it's 57 by 71. It's their 9-inch finished blocks. I just think that's really pretty. Of course, the fabric you pick has a lot to do with it, but I really like this one. Another one that she had that I thought was just adorable was this one. The finished size on this one is 38 by 43. For a baby size, a twin will go 76 by 86. And there's different size car blocks depending on which one you're going to make. So she's given you 2 sizes of cars in here. And we have the hipster horse. And I picked a bunch of patterns and went back and I weeded them out and I just couldn't get rid of this one. I don't know what I would do with it other than he's quirky and I can totally see, I don't know, I just really want him. So let me see if I can find, these are on her sample, it actually had all 3, I think it had a block of 4. But there's 5. I don't remember how she had it, but these are showing individual blocks. But her sample that I saw had them just arranged on a quilt differently. It really doesn't matter. Oh, let's see. This is a 10 by 20 inch block. So there's a lot you can do with that. They're good size. I just think he's cute. So cute. I know. Silly. These are all by the same designer. So this is So Fresh Quilts. My granddaughter is really big into foxes, so I'm always keeping my eye out for foxes. And I found these. I did see this pattern. I thought I was buying this pattern, which obviously has 2 sizes, but this is the same head as this one. So I actually think both of these come on here. I'm not sure. I'll be happy with whatever I get, and the options will be nice. And that's cute. It's like he's hiding in the trees. So, got some boxes to play with. I also have been interested in foundation paper piecing, and I have a lot of stuff for when I'm ready to dive into that, but I'm just fascinated by some of the really cool things that you can make. And here is a tree I've had my eye on for several weeks. It's been in my wish list and I finally just bought him. It was half off and it's one of those things where I just kept gravitating to it even though I know I'm not going to make it right away. So I got that. The finished block size is, oh no, sorry, has 2 sizes. One is 6 inches and one is 9. But this came from Center Street Quilts. I just think that is adorable. It looks a little complicated, but I'm excited to try it. Now that they also offered this one, the Rainbow Forest, which I think is just adorable. See how it's just changing like that? Now they do show it in a different colorway on here. They've got it with just the greens. And that's cute too. But this is why I was fascinated with. So I don't know why I'm into this thing about trees, but I am. And I found this one on Proto Quilt. It's a tree. And again, this is one of those that I just can't walk away from. These three have been hanging out in my wish list or cart save for later area, and I just decided I'm going to get them. So this one, it says finished block will have a 1/4 inch seam allowance, cut along dotted lines, approximate, okay, this is in centimeters, guys. 12.7 centimeters by 15.2 centimeters. But then this down here in inches, the printing chart at 200% is 10 by 12, 100% is 5 by 6. And that does look like about 5 by 6. So I guess it just depends on if you enlarge. I don't know, I just love this little tray. So there's my stuff right there. I just got my mystery quilt block. This is clue number 5. This comes from Cotton Cuts, and I'm doing the small mystery puzzle. And I don't know if you can see, I've got little blocks hanging out down here. I will be working on this. It might come out before this video does. I doubt it. So, but I have it. It'll be coming. I have a pile of quilts to share with you. I'm excited to share these with you. I just finished videoing all of my finished quilts. The only thing that is not included, I kind of ad-libbed, was the Holly Jolly quilt that used to be on the wall behind me because it's at the quilters, but I will be getting it back any day. So if I can, I'll slip it into the video. If not, I did put in the finished front, but it's the only quilt that's not completely finished and bound with quilting. So I think it'll be my last video of the year of my finished quilts, so that's why I kind of slipped that one in there. But I also put the projects I've been working on, the Monday Maker projects, which lately have just ended up being small projects. Going forward, you're not going to see many small projects. They're going to be patterns and quilts and more actual project-based things relating to quilting. And like I've said in the past, the reason I've been doing the projects is because I wanted to make it simple for everybody, including me, with some smaller projects that you can work on for Christmas. So anyway, Maker's Monday will always be happening, and so will the Saturday Stitch-uation. Both come on at 3 p.m. Mountain on their respective days. So be sure to check in on that. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you checking in and helping to support my channel. Please comment. And there's a drawing. I'm going to explain how to enter that. All right, let's talk about our drawing. So I have a couple things here that I'm going to put in the drawing. The winner will be announced next Saturday, and so you have until Friday, the day before, to comment and follow the instructions. Next Saturday is Christmas Eve, and the day before that is December 23rd, midnight Mountain Time, December 23rd. You need to have responded in order to be able to enter. And you just need to be over 18, have a US mailing address, and please be a visible subscriber to my channel. It really helps me, and that way you also can be entered into some drawings. So let me show you the things I have got so far. There'll probably be more, just depends on what I can come up with. But right now I have this pattern, which I already talked about, but it is called Hope Valley. It's from a Quilting Life, Sherry McConnell. Isn't that pretty? It takes a fat eighth bundle of 27 fat eighths, 2.5 yards of background for sashing and inner border, a 1/4 yard for your posts, which I'm guessing these are what she's calling posts, and 1 1/4 inch for your outer border, which is actually this guy right here. And then your backing is 4 yards. This pattern is from 2015, so you may have seen it before. I just bought it from her off of Etsy, and I accidentally grabbed 2, so I'm giving this one away. So this looks like a lot of fun. And another thing I'm going to give is I had gotten my Cotton Cuts chroma Cotton Cuts thread subscription, and they always give you a block of the month, and I got two, so I'm going to pass this one along too. So it's just the block that comes with your subscription, and it might be kind of fun to see what that is if you were to be a subscriber. So I'm passing that along, and I'm also throwing this in there. This is the Riley Blake Churn Dash binding holder. With the glare, I hope you can see what this is. It's still wrapped in cellophane. Here it is on the back side. So the pattern looks like a churn dash, but it has, so you can wrap the binding around this way or this way. And then you also have this hole in the middle, so you could feed it through, and then there's a slot right here. So I can see this being super handy. I have a really good system for how I do binding, and so this is not practical for me, but it looks like a really cool idea. So I think it keeps your binding together. So anyway, I'm going to put that in there. So we'll see what else might pop up in there in the box or the package. But to enter, I need you to put a word in the comments and be able to respond to me when I announce the winner within just a couple of days. So the word I want you to put in there is Christmas Eve. That's pretty simple. I guess it's 2 words. And anyway, so there's that. This quilt is heavy. It's not very big, but it is heavy. It's got batting and this really heavy. This will be really warm, and right now I run warm, so I'm sure someone will enjoy it. Time to switch out the quilt. I want to talk about this. This one is also from last year. It's another panel. I left the top and the bottom parts on. You probably could turn them into blocks and put them somewhere. I just wanted it to belong at a wall hanging or a door. So it's just a large panel, and again, 2 borders in the binding. And this is what's on the back. And because he's kind of a country guy, I've got horseshoes in the quilting. It's just adorable. And looks like Santa's tired. Look at the date. That's it for today. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for joining in on the Saturday Stitch-uation. I will see you tomorrow for the Advent, but next Saturday for another Saturday Stitch-uation.